Alrighty.
Hi there and welcome to another episode here on Bustthenet. These are the adventures of Gloucester City. They have won the FA Cup. They have knocked United south and they have a chance to do it all over again in the Champions League final. And we have a special guest today. His name is Guido Merry. This is going to be a show where we go strikerless. Hello, Guido. And how are you?
Hi, Rashidi. I'm fine, thanks.
Okay, cool. It's exciting because I've never ever done a live stream before and no idea whether it's gonna come off correctly or whatever. But I'm totally excited that you're here. Tell me more. I mean, I'm sure there are gonna be people out there who may not know who you are, but I know you from Strikerless.com. You have an award-winning blog. Congratulations very much. But for those who are not in the know, when did you start playing the game?
Oh, mate, I've started long time ago. I think it's Championship Manager, back when it was called Championship Manager. I started playing. Found my first copy of the game in the bargain bin at a local toy store, picked it up, and I was hooked ever since. So, I don't know, I was probably 11 or 12 at the time, so that's nearly 2 decades of playing experience.
That's common with a lot of us. I mean, a lot of us started the game when we were young. It's one of those games that we've played since then. Many other games must have passed along. I mean, we probably played other games as well, but I think this is one of the few games that I reckon you stuck with over the years too.
Yeah, it's probably this. It sucks you back in every time.
So what does it feel like? I mean, like you play a strikerless system, right? And what's the fascination that you have in playing strikerless?
It started out as I actually hated strikerless tactics when they first came up. You've been in the FM Live game worlds, right?
Yes, but yeah. Oh my God, I remember being in the FM Live games world.
Yeah, and Strikerless was a big thing in FM Live. People were complaining about it. That it was unbeatable, and well, I took it as a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And the first few times I played a Strikerless tactic, I got my ass handed to me, because I was not ready to think outside the box yet, which was clearly what the other team was doing. They had found a way to manipulate my team into doing things I didn't want them to do, but which was clearly working for the other team. So eventually I found one of these strikerless managers, to explain to me what he was doing and why he was doing it. This was an Estonian manager in FM Live, Tonis Lomus. He was probably one of the best managers I've ever played against, and he taught me how to set up a strikerless tactic, because in order to beat a strikerless tactic you have to know how it works. And when I started studying it, I tried emulating it at first, which was easy because I had already gotten the instructions, but I tried to improve it because the brand of football it produced was actually pretty easy on the eyes. It was aesthetically pleasing. It was short combination football, incisive passing, fluid movement on and off the ball. It was nice to look at. So I figured, well, why not take a good thing and try and make it even better? And that was probably five years ago. Initially, I only worked inside FM Live. And when the FM Live game died, I decided to go back to Football Manager based on the same engine and just see if it works in there as well. Which, well, clearly it does, because initially it was a bit of a niche tactic, but it's becoming more and more mainstream. Also helped by the fact that managers like Guardiola and to an extent Klopp are playing semi-strikerless tactics with false nines dropping back into midfield, which is, well, not far away from a pure strikerless tactic the way I'm playing it.
Okay. So Is it a challenge for you sometimes when you play Strikerless? Have you found it to be challenging in any way with certain teams?
Well, yeah, it's always a challenge to find the right players to make it work. Either that or chop and change your tactic to suit the players you do have. Um,
So it is
there's always that challenge, but you face the same challenge when you're playing with the,
normal.
well, let's call it a conventional team in a conventional setup. Uh, the tactic itself, once you know what you're doing, it's not that patience. It's more about being able to analyze the game, to look at what you're doing, look at what the opponent is doing, and either try to exploit their weaknesses or further enhance your own strong points, and work on that, build on that. And I'd say Strikerless is easier than a conventional tactic because there's less bands of players you have to work with. I mean, there's midfield and there's defense, and well, part of your midfield is an offensive midfield, but that's about it. In a regular tactic, there's defensive midfield, normal midfield, attacking midfield, forwards. There's at times wingers when you need them. Strikerless is less complicated, and by its very nature, it's a compact tactic, which makes both defending and attacking easier if it's set up in the right way.
Okay, now this brings me to an interesting point. I mean, I've read it on the forums. You know, we've got lots of people on the forums talking about strikeless systems being an exploit. I mean, I personally don't think they are, because we've also had discussions where people think that narrow systems are an exploit as well. So how do you feel about it? I mean, like, I don't personally think strikeless systems are an exploit, because you gotta know what you're doing. But how do you feel about it?
I've had similar discussions with people on Twitter or in several chat groups I'm a part of, and some of them are taking the piss when they say it's an exploit. I mean, they're just trying to rile me up, but there are people who actually mean it. They think I've found some sort of a glitch in the match engine and I'm mercilessly exploiting it, which isn't the case. Strikerless tactics can be beaten quite easily. In fact, if you shut down the supply route and if you don't make your defenders do stupid stuff, there's no space for the strikerless tactic to exploit, and you basically nullify the entire threat it poses. So it's not an exploit because it can be countered, and without making silly or unrealistic tactical changes. It's just a tactic. Like every tactic, it has its weaknesses and it has its strong suits. Take your average 4-4-2. It has its strong suits, especially going forward with a wide midfield. It also has its weaknesses when defending against a more staggered team with a defensive midfielder and an attacking midfielder, because they're going to creep in behind your central midfielders and exploit the space. It's the same with a strikerless setup. We're overloading the central midfield, which means you've got 3 players elsewhere on the pitch. Utilize those and you can beat the strikerless tactic, and pretty easily, in fact.
Correct. That's exactly how I feel when it comes to like narrow systems. People talk about narrow systems being an exploit. There have been competitions. I've spoken to people at competitions, and they go like, they're gonna use a narrow system. Narrow system for an exploit. I go, no, they're not. If you know how to handle the narrow system is very weak. If you know how to set it up, most people, it's all about knowing. Yeah, it's all
how
about
to beat it.
Yeah.
They go extra wide and then try to flood the box with crosses, which are easily defended with the right players, instead of just being patient and tapping the ball around, because space will open up in a narrow tactic, or you will tire players out because they have to shuffle from side to side every time to cover the threat in the wide areas. Just don't rush into it, because you're playing into the cards of the players in a narrow formation. They probably have strong headers in their own penalty box, so flinging the ball into the box just won't work. They'll clear it and they'll hit you on the break.
Exactly, because that's how I set mine up. When I played in a competition, and I had a whole bunch of defenders who were excellent positionally, and they just mopped up in front of them and behind them. Well, this is great. I've one last question to ask you. In your blog, you had you found a lot of success in your blog, and how does that make you feel? I mean, congratulations. I mean, your blog has won an award, and it's become a source of reference for many people. How does the success of your blog make you feel?
It's made me hungry for more. I try to improve on what I'm doing with varying degrees of success. Lately, I felt like my standards have been slipping a bit. I've been trying to maintain a one update a week schedule, and looking back, I feel that standards have slipped a bit. I need to step up my game if I want to win the award for a second year in a row. So I will be trying to either take more time or maybe not update once a week, because I can see now that with the high standards that I have set for myself, I shouldn't be pushing out fluff pieces or easy pieces, because people, when they come to Strikerless, they expect quality, and I feel that I haven't been quite delivering over the past few months. I'm trying to turn a page, and yesterday's article on pressing traps and pressing triggers has been one of the better ones in the past half year or so. So I'm trying to turn a page and, well, increase the quality output.
Oh, that's great to hear, because I know for a fact that nearly most of the time, I mean, like, I keep sending people to your site. Every time people talk to me about tactics and stuff, I keep going, all right, there are not many sites out there right now that actually have well thought out crafted pieces, and I'm glad to see that your site is still keeping it up, because it's a great, fantastic site, and congratulations. I hope you get to win the award again this year.
The competition will be stiff. I mean, if I were you, I'd enter it. You'd stand a great chance at winning it, mate.
It's okay. I am happy where I am, and it's yeah. The problem with websites and blog writing is that you got to keep the quality up at a level that I can't do it like you. Your articles have got nice little pictures and stuff. Look, I can't.
You're being too modest, mate. You're being too modest. I mean, in the category, there were YouTube channels in there. I mean, last year the public vote went to Spencer FC, who is a YouTuber and not a blogger or a writer. So there's no reason why you shouldn't enter. I think you should, mate. You stand a great chance at winning. I mean that.
Okay, I'll give it a thought. I never thought of it. Okay, so let's get on to this. The objective of our show. The objective of our show, and this is going to be it's going to be a very, very, very interesting exercise, because I've never done this before, so this is going to tie my hands in a way, but it's going to be fun. The second thing is, you're under a lot of pressure. This team are the Champions League defenders. They are out to defend the title. They won last season by beating Manchester United. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a strikerless system that you've designed for Gloucester City. It's a spin on the whole FM Tactics series, because lately, if you've been watching my FM Tactics series, or anyone out there, I've taken tactics from the community and I have used them with my site. And this is what the message I've been trying to pass out to everyone out there is, when you take a tactic from the general community, you need to adapt it for your site, because whoever's created the tactic, he's probably got some geniuses in his team, and you decide, I'm going to use this tactic too, and then you plug it into your system. It may not necessarily work. So we are going to do it with Strikerless, and that is the reason why I invited you. So I went like, okay, Guido, this is a situation. This is my team. What do you think? So, what do you think of the I see a 3-4-3. So, do you want to go through it at the moment and tell me what your plan is?
Let's just run with it. You see a 3-4-3. I call it a 5-2-3, but whatever. It's a formation, and formations are just a name. It's how they line up on the pitch that counts. Well, basically, there's a back three consisting of one defender on cover duty. He's also a ball-playing defender, which means he should be receiving the ball into feet and trying to get the build-up from the back going. The other two are defenders set on stopper duty, which means they will aggressively engage any forwards they encounter or players running at them. In the wide areas, you've got plain old wingbacks, but I have customized them slightly in terms of their player instructions. If we can have a look at that.
Yes. I seem to recall this tactic now. Aha! I've seen this tactic before. Okay, hang on a minute. Somebody submitted a tactic that looks similar to this, but this is interesting. I'm looking at the play instructions now. Okay, shoot less often, dribble more, close down more, tackle harder, mark tighter, pass it shorter, more risky passes, cross more from byline. Cool. Okay.
The wingbacks, that's where it gets really interesting. I want them to close down a lot. What they're doing is, well, you're about my age, so you've grown up with guys like Cafu and Roberto Carlos marauding down the wing for Brazil.
Yeah.
Guys like Lizarazu and Thuram doing the same for the French teams. There's plenty of other examples. What I want is players who can do that, who will maraud down the wings. Well, normally you'd say make them complete wingbacks, but that makes them defensive liabilities because they will bomb forward like crazy, but they're not that good at coming back.
Right.
What I've done here is taken some of the special instructions for a complete wingback, added them into a normal wingback, and I've also asked them to sit narrower and cut inside with the ball, because that basically makes them a withdrawn inside forward, if that makes any sense to you. They will cut inside with the ball at their feet, and most wingers on the opposing team won't track their runs, while most defenders on the opposing team will find their zone of the defense overloaded, which either means they have to step out and engage the wing back, leaving an attacking midfielder in their back in space, or they stick with the attacking midfielder, leaving my wing back to just move inside and just find space and find a good pass, or hell, even take a shot at goal.
Okay.
That's the basic idea of the wing backs.
Yeah, I can see that because the way you set it up, yeah, I like it, because the only thing that I might get a bit weary about is the dribble more instruction, because you've got them dribbling more. Don't you see them, like, start from your third with the ball? Do they run all the way up the pitch like?
No, usually not, because the formation is pretty compact. Within 10 meters, they'll encounter the midfielders, and maybe 10 to 20 meters in front of that, there's the attacking midfielders.
Okay.
There's not that much space to dribble into. They will run with the ball occasionally, but they will look for the pass play, a 1-2, and move into space. When they're into space, that's when they start dribbling, and that's when they're at their most dangerous. At times, they will mess up an attack. They'll dribble too much, take on one forward too many, or one defender too many.
Okay.
But yeah, that shit happens.
Okay. All right. So I assume, but you've got it slightly set up for the right flank. Is the right flank looks a bit different? The right wing back.
Yeah, that's because my right wing back in my own team was a better player than the one on the left flank, and I probably forgot to change that.
Okay. Yeah. The right wing
but
back.
In your team, considering the players you have, that actually makes sense, because Maffeo is probably a better player than whoever is going to play alone on the left side.
Correct.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, coincidentally as well, because we have a problem with the left flank. My left flank is going to be challenging because we can't play a fullback there today, because the fullback that was supposed to play there, František Hajek, is injured. So, and
I'd play perfect Jackson there.
Who?
I'd just play Jackson there. I mean, he's the closest thing there,
Yeah,
and
right.
against Man United, we're going to be defending.
Okay, so all right, now let's look at the central midfielders. You got a double ball-winning midfield pair there. That's cool.
Yeah.
Both of them have. One has shoot less often, and the other one has pass it shorter.
Yeah, I don't want them to play risky passes. Their objective is to win the ball back and pass it towards the players who can actually do something with it. They're just there for ball retention. Win the ball back, pass it. Win the ball back, pass it. Win the ball back, pass it. No risky long shots, just win the ball back, pass it. If they get a chance, they can pop one off from the edge of the area, but they generally won't get in that position. They're just there to feed the ball to the wing backs or to the forward three.
Which brings us to the interesting forward three. And you've got two shadow strikers with an attacking midfielder in the middle.
Yeah, the attacking midfielder in the middle is what I call my Withdrawn Target Man. And that sounds very fancy, but it basically means you take Marouane Fellaini and you stick him up front and tell your players to play the ball towards him. He will control the ball and pass it along to either the shadow strikers or the wing backs or whoever's close by and wants to link up. I used to do that with an Engange, but I found them too static in this version of the game, which means they were easily marked out of the game. So I took a more mobile role. Initially tried to Trequartista, but he wasn't contributing in terms of the pressing the way I wanted him to. So you take the bland attacking midfielder central role and tweak it a bit to make it a Withdrawn Target Man. I don't want him taking shots. I want him to control the ball and lay it off. I want him to tackle hard like Fellaini, combat for the ball, go in hard. He can roam from his position. Like I said, if he's too static, he's easily crowded out. He can even move into the channels if there's space there. Just hold it up there and lay it off. Hold up the ball makes sense in that regard, and get further forward is already there. Just get up front there and be my target man.
Okay, so that's cool. And then what about the two shadow strikers? Anything unique about these two roles?
Nah, shit. They're shadow strikers. They're supposed to run into space, and they are supposed to be the main goal-scoring threats.
Okay. Now, whenever I coach people when they play the game, right, I always ask them this question, and I go like, all right, whenever you create a tactic, you should be able to visualize how the goals are going to come. Because if you can't visualize how the goals are going to come, chances are you don't even know how the tactic works. So
exactly.
Yeah. So how do you visualize the goals? How do you see these goals happening?
Most of the goals will come from the shadow strikers, either getting into space and getting on the end of the through ball or a cross. But there has been occasions that when an opposing team doesn't pick up a running wing back and he just takes a pop shot which goes in, and at times when the wing backs or the shadow strikers can't get it in, one of the ball winning midfielders gets it on the edge of the box and volleys home a rebound basically. But that's how most of the goals come, barring the odd set piece which flies in.
Cool. Now the situation right now that we find ourselves in, how would you decide? Okay, you've had a chance to look at the whole tactic. You basically had some time to look at the system, and you've had some time to look at the players. Now, which players are going to make the team, in your opinion?
In my opinion, your goalie's an easy one. That's just Johnson. Just leave him where he is. At the back, I play with Gomez, Webster, and Moore.
Okay.
In any variation which suits you. There's not one of them who's better than the others. Maffeo and Borthwick Jackson will make fine wingbacks. Olmedo Olmedo would be a great supporting ball-winning midfielder, and either Hanks or NDIA would be a great supplement defensive midfielder, ball-winning midfielder. Pardon. Up front, I'd probably use Germano as the Withdrawn Target Man. He seems the most likely candidate for it, and to my liking, the other attacking midfielders lack the pace I like to see. So either Lacazette or Lopez, or Gomez and Lacazette, or Lopez and two out of those three have to play, and it's your own preference to which one of those you will be using. I don't mind Gomez playing there despite not being a natural at it. He's got the attributes to play there, so he should be able to do so quite effectively. One change I would make to the tactic is overload would be a tactic I'd use if I were at least equal to the other team.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, I'm feeling we're not equal
Correct.
to Man United, so I change it to counter-attack.
Oh, so you're taking a lot less risk. You're going to play on counter.
Yeah, I normally play with a higher defensive line, but as you can see in the team instructions here, I've dropped the defensive line to deeper, and I'm also going to play a more conservative mentality, because I've seen the pace of Man United's forwards, and I've also seen how sluggish our defenders are. They can't keep up. They will get exploited on the break, and our overall team quality is lesser than United's. They will play through us if they get the chance, and I'm not liking that.
In the FA Cup final, I played a 5-3-2 against United, and that was the only way I could keep them in check. I just needed the numbers behind, because on pace, there was no way I could beat those guys. And I also recognized the fact that United, man for man, were going to be better than our team. So it makes a bit of sense to play on a lower mentality, in the sense that you'll be taking fewer risks moving up. Now, there's something interesting here, because I normally tell people, do not use lots of shouts. And I see some combination of shouts here that are freaking me out. I'm like going, holy crap, what's going on here? You've got very... you got very fluid and be more expressive. What gives?
Now, I know there's a lot of shouts, and I know both you and Cleon have told people not to go crazy on the shouts. But again, if you know what you're doing, there's a method to the madness.
Okay, all right.
And let's just start with the team shape. It's very fluid. And what very fluid does means you attack and defend as a cohesive, compact unit.
Totally agree with that. 100%. That is where I'm going. Either fluid or very fluid. I'm not playing on any other shape. Yeah.
And considering the fact that we'll be chasing United most of the game, or trying to keep them away from our goal, it makes sense to have our attacking midfielders drop back to help out. And the only way you can do that is with a fluid or very fluid system. Otherwise, they're going to lounge up front and not get involved beyond the usual pressing. The tempo is set to normal. Just don't change it. The team probably lacks the quality to play at an intense high pace for 90 minutes. I don't like time wasting, that's more of a philosophical debate, so let's not go there at all.
Okay, all right. And then, okay, there's something here that doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, now we know I'm one of those guys who never uses look for overlap. The reason being because look for overlap does two things, right? It affects runs from the middle, and it also increases the mentality of your backs. Now, we are using look for overlap. Is that intentional?
Yeah, look for overlap was intentional. I mentioned how I want the wingbacks to basically be like withdrawn inside forwards. If you want them to do that, you can't have them sprinting for 70 meters towards goal. They can't do that. Well, maybe they can do it once or twice. They can't do it for 90 minutes. Right. If they look for the overlap, they will pace themselves more. Okay. They'll play a short 1-2 pass before sprinting, and that means they have less distance to cover. It also means the team remains compact and cohesive, because those players they engage for the 1-2 will also move forward with them, essentially providing cover should they lose the ball, because they have to make themselves available for maybe another overlap. So yeah, that was intentional.
Okay. Now, work ball into box. Probably, are you planning on camping?
I'm planning on not losing the ball, because United is dangerous when they have the ball. when they don't have the ball, they can't score a goal against us. So if we don't rush ourselves by flinging the ball into the box needlessly and just be patiently look for an opening, that's probably going to suit us better than risking through balls or risking silly passes that will end up gifting the ball to United in a moment when we have a lot of players in United's half, and knowing United have fast players to punish us on the counter.
That explains why you're combining with retain possession then. And why you have be more expressive and roam from positions as a shout. Actually, you need all four. Work ball into box, retain possession, be more expressive, and roam from positions.
They work. Yeah, they work together and ensure that we keep the ball without taking excessive risks. Because if we lose the ball in their half with 5, 6, 7 of our players in United's half, they are going to punish us on the break.
Okay, I get the linkage between all that, because when you explain it like that, you've got work ball into box. You want them to keep possession. Now, sometimes me and Cleon, we do tell people, if you're going to work ball into box, you're going to retain possession. That's like how do I put this? That's like you're overloading on the need to keep the ball. But the way you spoke about it, the way you talked about it, we know that the shout pass into space increases through balls, and retain possession reduces through balls. So what you've done is you actually have a lot of pass to feet, I guess, in this tactic.
Exactly. Because you don't want them to take excessive risks. Against weaker opposition on overload, you can remove retained possession unless, again, it leads to silly passes and you gifting away the ball needlessly. So you look at how the game develops, and if when needed, you can either turn it on or off to influence the way the team is playing.
Oh, okay, cool. This is actually kind of interesting, because it's like the antithesis or the opposite of how I normally play the game. I mean, I'm not one of those guys that goes in, and then when I see one shot, I'm like, congratulations, that's a win. I mean, for most people, I guess, who are not familiar with the game, I usually tell them to go into the game, try one shot out first, understand how it works before you decide to combine shouts. I think the most I've gone is 10 shouts in a game, or 11 shouts. But I've never seen 13. My house number is 13. Okay, I have a neighbor who's got 13 cats, but I've never used 13 shouts. It's like, I'm like sitting down here going, mate, you don't know this is a Champions League final, right? We're not playing a friendly.
I know, we're playing I've actually played the final 3-4 times just to see if my assumptions would be correct. I'm honest about that. I have tried if my ideas actually made sense. Okay. And for the most part, they do make sense.
Okay. Well, I haven't. The good thing is that I'm actually seeing, and you know this for a fact, I'm seeing this tactic for the first time. So we're actually recording this live over YouTube, right? So we haven't played the game yet, and we have no clue on what's going to happen. Well, it's really exciting, and this is going to be a really long show if we keep this up. So what the plan is this, okay? I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is the first part of the show. Now, on our next episode tomorrow, we're going to come back. Me and, not Guido and me, but you guys are coming back. Okay, Guido and me are still here. We're actually going to start the second show right now. But you guys will be watching what transpires in the second show. So if you have any questions, please feel free to look me up on Twitter at Bustthenet or addictedtofm.com, and I'll catch you guys again very soon. Once again, I'd like to thank all the patrons for making this show possible. Any last words before we talk to each other again for tomorrow's show, Guido?
I really, really, really hope that it plays out the way I want it to, because I'm going to look like a right silly tit if it doesn't.
Well, I don't care. It's just look, this is a game. Let's have fun.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly.
Yeah, so, okay, guys, I'll catch you guys again soon. See you. Bye-bye.